Marhaba, and welcome to the Matrix Green Pill, where real people connect.
Hello, and welcome back to the Matrix Green Pill podcast. My name is Shireen Zemo, and today I am so excited to welcome Karina Vitvytska to the Matrix Green Pill podcast. Karina is the founder and managing director of a boutique travel agency, SEANSES, your Indian Ocean specialist, celebrating iconic resort destinations in the Maldives, Seychelles, and Mauritius. The agency offers you a bespoke expertise to arrange your next adventure in the dreamy islands of the Indian Ocean. Karina, welcome and thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you so much for inviting, and it's my first ever podcast.
Well, we're super excited to have you and to be the first. Let's jump right into it. Could you please share your story and how you decided to get into this field?
Absolutely. So I'm Ukrainian by origin, and it's my year number 8 in Dubai. I'm a mom and I'm a wife. And in 2020, when it was the most turbulent year for humanity, I decided to open my own business.
Right in the peak of COVID was when you decided to start your business.
Yes, exactly.
Was this after it had already started or before?
It was right in the middle. It was summer 2020.
Very interesting. Let's talk about your travel agency, SEANSES. So it sounds very mystic and interesting. Could you tell us a little bit about your initial idea for the company and why this particular name?
First of all, as a consumer, I always thought that there are several existing models in the tourism industry. One is a traditional travel agency where you mostly need to knock the door, and the second is online platform. So I wanted to create something in the middle. So while you still have a personalized, tailor-made experience, but at your own rules, when you have time to deal with it, when you have assistance whenever you need it, regardless where you are. So that's why we created online travel agency, which was you whenever you need it.
My next question is, was there any specific reason why you chose the Indian Ocean as the territory of your expertise?
Yes, my experience all come together. So I'm actually used to live in Maldives prior my move to Dubai, and I spent in the Maldives 1.5 years of my life. Because of that experience, I was invited to move to Dubai and to join the cluster sales office of Shangri-La Hotels and Resorts, where I was also in charge of property in the Maldives. Afterwards, we reopened property in Mauritius, and we also opened another Indian Ocean property in Sri Lanka. So it's kind of all my experience was embraced, and I decided why to be average in everything while I can be best in specific region.
I like that. I think that's very great when you pick a niche and just try to perfect that particular thing. My next question, Karina, would be, there's some sort of stereotype that the Maldives is just for lounging and there's not much to do on the islands. What would you say to counter that argument?
I would say that it's about matching yourself with the right resort. And that's why this is our job. Before we start working with every client, especially if it's a new client, we ask certain questions, because starting from accessibility to the resort, then the size of the island, there's certain facilities. So it's about you and the resort you are choosing. There are more than 165 resorts in the Maldives as of now, and the number is growing every year. And every resort is different. Every resort has different soul. I like to compare the resort in the Maldives with a human body, and every human is different.
That's very interesting. So what you're saying is that there's a resort for every type of person out there.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about your business model and some of the challenges that you faced when you were initially setting up? I mean, what are some of the things or what's the checklist of when you're starting your own travel agency?
I would start also from experience when you start the business. Of course, when we speak about operational model, it's very clear to me because throughout of my experience, my career, I used to work in all possible concept of this industry. But of course, when you're setting up the new company in the new country for you, this is slightly different. So every day I consider myself to be a student because every day there is something new will come up. The second would be searching for your type of client. So this is everyday challenge. What I would say we face is searching for our client, our audience.
It's also helped that you've had this experience working with the Shangri-Las you mentioned, and living in the Maldives definitely gave you that background to know what you're doing on a deeper, more local level, I guess.
All this experience gave me the most important connections in the resort, the salespeople, even about knowing the product. In Maldives, as of now, I had opportunity to see more than 60 resorts, which is tremendous number, and I'm increasing this number every year. I dedicate my time of around 3 trips per year to the Maldives itself only, and of course, this is all very important. But when I speak about Shangri-La experience, of course, it's a big corporate company which teaches you, structures you, shows you policies, shows you how it's more effective to work. And of course, gives me that background from the hotel, from the resort perspective, that now while I work as a travel agent, I fully understand the inside kitchen of the hotel or the resort, how it operates from inside.
That's amazing. I can't believe you visited over 60 resorts. That's incredible. And you said there's over 150 of them currently, if I'm not wrong.
More than 160.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I wanted to ask about the name of the travel agency. So, SEANSES, is it a play on words? Is it what? How did you come up with it?
Oh, it was such a complicated process. I remember myself sitting on the couch in my living room. I was just crying over that piece of paper. I played with several name generators in Google, but somehow the name came by itself. So basically, it's a combination of two words, sea and senses, SEANSES. And it perfectly reflects the inside soul of the company.
Okay, my next question, Karina, is was there anything specific that drew you to the travel and tourism industry right at the start when you were deciding what you wanted to do with your future?
I'm coming from very traditional family, very traditional Ukrainian family, when parents at that point of time took important part of deciding on your future. Thanks to my mom's choice, I actually was studying the international tourism. But what exactly made me stay and to continue and to give me that seed of ambitions, I would say it was my first ever international trip. In fact, I was 18 years old that moment. In my first trip was to United States. It was the student program called Work and Travel USA, when for 4 months you go and you just do simple work like working in a fast food or in a cafeteria, and you taste the real life. And that exactly made me, I would say, who I am now. And then I came back to Ukraine, and that's the moment I said, yes, I want to start working. I want to start working now. And that gave me exactly the initial kick.
Wow, I didn't even know that such programs existed. This is the first time I've ever heard of something like that. It sounds very interesting. You mentioned, your first international trip. I'm sure by now you've had many other international trips. So, having traveled around all the different countries and locations, I'm sure you've had the opportunity to experience a very diverse food culture. What would you say has been your most favorite and why?
Since I live abroad and I don't live in my home country, I still consider my favorite cuisine ever to be Ukrainian cuisine. And we are very happy to have a new restaurant open in Dubai. It's the first truly Ukrainian restaurant, which we are very much excited to have here. But if to talk not about my own cuisine, but international cuisine, I would say Greek cuisine. And the reason to that, I really love the fresh products. I love this seafood. And I think Greece presents their cuisine in a most best possible way. It's such a brand already.
No, I definitely agree. They have some really delicious food. On the same kind of line about your travels, what would you say has been your most preferred or favorite city or country that you've visited so far?
It's still Maldives. It's so funny because my husband, when I say let's go to Maldives, he answers me again. But for me, it's my place of power, if you understand what I mean. There is nothing in the world can be compared when you're sitting on the stairs of your water villa, watching sunrise and drinking coffee. It's such a powerful moment to me. So anytime when I need to reconnect with nature, I always go to the Maldives.
It sounds very incredible, and I look forward to someday being able to go for sure. You know, you hear about it being a top honeymoon destination. I mean, why do you think that it's so popular specifically for honeymoons?
Well, now it's popular for everyone. It's such a universal destination. Again, it's all about the resort you choose, how you craft your trip. It's fantastic for honeymooners because the level of privacy and unique experiences for honeymooners is just amazing. It's incredible for families because some resorts, they have a very big and well-planned kids club. And there is also, as a type of the travelers I can observe, it's more and more females, single females who would love to travel to Maldives because, again, this is such a safe destination. You are in a safe hands. Even from the moment when you step out from arrival gate in the airport, you have dedicated team who meets you and assist you throughout your journey. So it's really universal for anyone.
Well, you sure know how to sell it. I will say that. You can tell how passionate you are about Maldives, and it just sounds very important to you from the way you talk about it. My last question would be, what is an important tip from your expertise that people should keep in mind when they're planning their next adventure?
Number one would be try to plan in advance because, first of all, it gives you, in some cases, better offer. And secondly, you have more options to choose from. The second advice, try to work with professional of that particular area, expert of that particular area, because this gives you completely different world. It gives you completely different experience. And because those people, they know how the country works, where to go, what is better in terms of the resort, where the service is better. Because even if we talk about big groups, big hotel chains, sometimes the team, sometimes the people, this is what makes the difference.
That is such a great tip. So, anyone who's listening, please ensure to follow Karina's expertise, and that will ensure that you have a really great holiday. So, Karina, thank you so much for answering all of my questions. We've actually come to the segment of our show where I'm going to ask you a couple of rapid fire questions. So, it's like a little game that we like to play. So, are you ready to play?
Yes, always ready.
Great. Okay, so let's start with what is your go-to comfort food?
My comfort food is avocado smoothie.
Ooh, and what would you say is your favorite time of the day?
Golden hour.
Yes, it's the best. I love sunsets. Okay, your favorite color?
Black.
Oh, and do you have any hobbies? And if so, what are they?
Hobby is a very difficult question because it's so, for me, never enough. Time is never enough. It's only 24 hours a day. But I really love to have my morning walks with my dog. One of my hobbies, I would say. And secondly, tennis. I love playing tennis.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for playing along. And just before we wrap up, we would like to ask you your green pill moment question. Karina, what green pill advice would you give to your younger self?
To start networking earlier. I think this topic is very underestimated. Not only me, but all people need to learn to do, starting from school. This should be a separate subject in the school and in the university. A self-presentation and networking to start to build the circle from the younger years.
I absolutely agree with you. I think that it's such an important, vital skill that everybody needs to know. It's very unfortunate because you can be the smartest person in the room, the most experienced, but if you're not able to speak and present your idea, then it will never really go further. And connections is everything. You would know, of course, as well, because of your experience and how that's helped you grow and all the connections that you built during your time at the Maldives that's now beneficial for your business. I think that goes with any industry and any business. Karina, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring journey, and everything that you've gone through is definitely very exciting. Everyone who's listened to this podcast will definitely put the Maldives on their bucket list as the next destination that they hope to travel to. So just before we say goodbye, do you have any social media handles that you would like to share where people could maybe follow you and your journey?
To speak about the company SEANSES, www.seanses.com, our website. It's always ongoing process of updating and work. Also, we are presented on all social media platforms, LinkedIn as SEANSES, Facebook and Instagram as SEANSES Travel. And me personally, I'm on Instagram, Karina.Vitvytska. Always there. My doors of social media always open.
Amazing. So we'll make sure to add all the links in the show notes so everyone can find everything very easily. Thank you so much once again, Karina. It was a real pleasure to have you on and to chat with you today.
Thank you so much. Very excited, very pleased.
If you enjoy our conversations, please like and subscribe. See you next Wednesday.